Hello, parents and guardians. Welcome to the tutorial for completing an application for Pre-K Head Start on your Chromebook, on your Google Chromebook. My name is Lisa Conlon. I'm a staff member at Montgomery County Schools Pre-K Head Start. And we also have with us in the tutorial Charlene Mohammed from Community Action Agency Health and Human Services Head Start. And also with us is Jonathan Cartagena from Housing Opportunities Commission Fatherhood Initiative. And the three of us are going to present information to you to help you register for Pre-K and Head Start. Montgomery County Public Schools offers pre-kindergarten and Head Start programs to low-income families who live in Montgomery County. To participate in pre-kindergarten and Head Start, children must be 4 years old on or before September 1st. In addition, we have 4 Head Start classes for 3-year-old children who are 3 by September 1st. To participate in the 3-year-old program, the family must have very low income at the federal poverty level, and the family must live in certain areas of Germantown, Rockville, and Tacoma Park. If you would like to apply for Pre-K Head Start programs, please start your application process by going to the Montgomery County Public Schools website at www.montgomeryschoolsmd.org. And you're seeing on your screen right now the Montgomery County Schools webpage, and you're seeing highlighted up on the left corner the montgomeryschoolsmd.org address. So you're going to type into the search line pre-kindergarten or Head Start. Jonathan, thank you. I'm going to type in pre-kindergarten.
Oh.
And I think without a space between the pre and the kindergarten, but maybe it'll take it. There you go. Okay. Okay, and you'll scroll down a little bit, and you're going to click on pre-kindergarten Head Start. And that will take you to our page. You're going to scroll down. The first thing that you'll see is this big red square. It's a big red notice just letting you know that because of COVID-19, our offices are closed. And at this time, you're not able to apply in person. And so that's why we're doing this online. If you can scroll down a little bit more, you're going to see a big blue box. And the blue box says how to register, como matricular. And we're going to, in just a second, take that survey. I just want to mention that if you have more than one child that you want to register for Montgomery County Schools, you're going to want to do the survey more than one time. You'll do the survey one time per child. So Jonathan, if you can please click on the MCPS registration survey. This is an explanation of the survey. If you want information in Spanish, you can click on the link at the top. Basically, they're explaining that because of COVID-19, we're trying to do everything electronically, and that if you have concerns about your child's development and your child is 3 to 5 years old, you're going to contact Child Find rather than completing the survey. Jonathan, if you can scroll down a little bit more, there is a button to click to start the survey where it says next. So here is the survey. It's pretty straightforward. The first thing that we would like you to do is put in an email address for correspondence, because we are going to be getting back to you. Then you fill in your child's first name, middle name, and last name. Then we'll scroll down a little bit and you'll put in your child's date of birth. Most of the children in Pre-K Head Start for this year are born in 2016, like the fall of 2015 until September 1st of 2016. Please be very careful with this particular field. The date kind of switches on you. So you have to double check it and make sure you put 2016 or because sometimes it'll change without you realizing. As you scroll down, you can pick your preferred language for future correspondence. Then we ask for parents or guardian's name and parent guardian phone number. Then if you have two parents or guardians in your home, then you would fill in the second one. If you just have one parent or guardian, that's fine. Again, a parent guardian email, and then the street address, including the city, the state, and the zip code. Okay, now we're going to go to the next screen, please. And now you're going to pick, if for our purposes today, you're going to pick pre-K programs 2021 school year. But as I mentioned earlier, if you have an older child, you would pick whichever one applies. But we're going to go ahead and do next. Okay, now, as I had mentioned, pre-K and Head Start are income eligibility based. So we ask for income and family size. So you want to put your family size here. That's the total number of people in your family. And then the next question is, how many of those 5 that we put in there, how many are children? And then how many are adults is the next question. Now on the next line, we ask for family income. This should be an estimate of your total gross income. Please do not put any words in this space. It can't have any commas, periods, or letters. So if your income is 35,000, you just want to put 35000. If right now you're not working and you're unemployed, please don't type unemployed. Just put 0 or your best estimate of what your income is at this time. Then we ask a few questions about other programs that you might be participating in. If you are participating in WIC, which is Women, Infants, and Children Nutrition Program, if you are participating with Housing Opportunities Commission programs, that's HOC, if you receive food stamps or SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance, TCA, Temporary Cash Assistance, SSI is Supplemental Security Income, child care vouchers, medical assistance, and if your child has an IEP. An IEP is a special education plan. If your child has learning differences or special needs, they may have an IEP. Then the next question we just asked, was your child in early Head Start? Montgomery County has 3 early Head Start programs for children birth to 3. So you just answer yes or no. Then the next question, does your child have a disability? Yes or no. And then, are there any special circumstances for your family? Are you currently homeless? Do you have a foster child? Is it kinship care? You can also write none, or you could click on other if there's another circumstance that you wanted to share. Now, the next section where you have 3 choices, it's very important to think about your choice carefully. The first option says, I would like to complete the registration process online. If you click on that box, we are going to send you an email with links to all of the forms, and then you would download the forms, complete them at home, and email them back to our offices, to our staff. It will probably take you 90 minutes at least to fill in all the forms, save them, download them, email them, and also you'll need to attach supporting documents like parent's ID, child's birth certificate. You could either scan those items and email them, or you could take pictures. Okay. The second option says, I would like to complete the paper registration process. And that would be requesting an application packet through the mail. So if you choose that option, it will probably take about a week for you to get the application in the mail. And then it's about 8 or 9 pages that you would have to fill out, and then you would mail it back. So after you mail it, it would probably take a week, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks for us to receive the paperwork and for us to process it and get back to you. It's really important to note the application will come with a self-addressed envelope for you to send it back to the Carver Educational Services Building, which is the Board of Ed, 850 Hungerford. You would send it to room 11. The address will be on the paper. But at this time, there is no place where parents can drop off papers in person. Okay, there's no office, there's no place where you can physically go to drop off. So it has to be by email or it has to be by mail, US mail. Okay, and again, that will take you probably an hour and a half to fill in all the forms. The last option says, I need assistance completing the registration process. So if you do not have a computer at home, or you're not really comfortable with a lot of paperwork, or not comfortable with a lot of reading and writing and filling in forms, you would mark that option, and a staff person will call you, and the staff person will have a computer with the forms, and the staff person would then interview on the phone, and you would give the answers to the questions, and they would do the typing, and then it's all done electronically as well. So those are your three options, and that would probably be an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours on the phone. You might break it into 2 sessions, but those are the three options right now. And so, think carefully what choice would work best for you and for your schedule. Okay, so Jonathan, we're not going to submit this. We are now going to go to the registration email so that parents can see what the email will look like after the parents click submit, and they'll get an email response saying, thank you for completing the survey. And then you'll see about maybe a quarter of the way down, it says forms required at the time of registration. If you put your mouse, you kind of click on these links. If we could open form 335-8, it's taking us to the Montgomery County Schools page. If you could scroll down a tiny bit, please, you'll see that this form is available in English, Spanish, French, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean, and Amharic. So you can click on any of those options and pick the form. But right now, if we could please click on the English, and we'll open that up. And then, so we really want to download the form and save it before we start typing, or do we start typing first, Jonathan?
You can do whatever you feel comfortable with. We always suggest to download the form and save so that you have it. But if you do start typing, we ask that you do not forget to download the form so that you can save the work that you've done. Because if you do it in the middle of it, you won't save everything. So either or, but we'll show both ways. So this is downloading. Now, when you download the form will automatically come in with its name of the file, which is the 335-8.pdf. It's very important to leave the end of this file in its format, because if you delete that, it will corrupt the file and you will lose all the information. So this is the format of the file, which is a PDF, and we want to leave that there. If you do decide to name it something else, you want to just change the beginning of the name. You can change it to whatever you would like, but I would say leave it as is. So that was the
335-8. And maybe you could put your child's initials or your name. So you could put, Smith 335 oh, there you go.
Right.
So 335-8 Jonathan.
We'll save it. If you're using the Chromebook, you want to go to your files location, and you would actually see it on the bottom right corner once you download it. And it asks you to show you in the folder. You'll click that. You should see it here in your downloaded files. That's the file we just saved. Once we open it, it would look exactly the same.
Okay, so at the top, it's very basic information, child's name and birthday. Then says adults responsible for the student. You want to fill in your name. Again, if it's two parents, you would put parent 1 in the first box and parent number 2 in the second box. And you can mark mother, father, guardian. We also ask for parents' age, and we ask if parents are studying. If you're a student, we ask for the years of education that you've had, if you're active military or veteran, if you're working full-time or part-time. In the next section, where it says other dependents in home, on the left-hand side, it says adult names. These would be people who are living in your family who are over 18. So maybe you have a 19 or 20-year-old young adult and they're living at home and studying. You want to include them there as your family size. Also, if you have grandparents or elderly family members that you are responsible for, you could include them there. On the right-hand side, it says siblings under 18. So this would be children who are in school, maybe 5th grade, 2nd grade, you would include them there. The next section, pick up and drop off information. It's very important that you put the address where you would like your child picked up and dropped off for school. If we return to school and we're using buses, this would be the address where the bus would pick your child up. Head Start and Pre-K are very special because we allow parents to choose a school closer to childcare if that's more convenient for them rather than the home. So for example, if you live in Germantown but you work in Rockville and your childcare is in Rockville, we could place your child in a school in the Rockville area so that it would work better with your childcare rather than assigning your child to a school in Germantown, which might not be convenient for you. So you want to include that address, phone numbers. The next section, the financial worksheet, is where you would put the income for the responsible adults that you listed above. So if you did your taxes, you could put, for example, $35,000 per year. Verification would be taxes. You can also, if it's easier for you to calculate, if you're making $500 a week, you could just put 500 per week and attach the pay stubs. That's the verification that you're going to send us, your tax return or your pay stubs. TCA is temporary cash assistance, child support, alimony, foster care, retirement, SSI, unemployment. We have down there financial assistance. Sometimes we have families that have recently arrived in the United States and they're not working, and maybe family is helping them out and they're living with extended family. Sometimes two parents are living with grandparents and everybody's helping each other out. So you would get a letter from that person that's helping you. Again, we ask about WIC and HOC. You would click those if they apply. And then we ask if you have a food supplement nutrition program, the SNAP or the food stamps. On the right-hand side, we ask about medical insurance. A special requirement in Head Start is that we make sure that all children have health care, that they have a health home. So if you do not have health insurance, our staff will try to help you find a clinic or provider or apply for medical assistance or care for kids. But if you have those at this moment, you would click the appropriate box and put your ID number for the medical. There's also a space there if you have learning concerns for your child, maybe speech, behavior, or if there's a serious health issue like an allergy or asthma, you can put that in there. Emergency contacts, we really need name and phone number of two people who, sometimes it's better if they don't actually live in your household, but two people who would be able to reach you in an emergency. So let's say your child gets sick at school, they have been vomiting, we call you, but you forgot to charge your cell phone and your cell phone is dead, but your child is at school feeling really sick and needs someone loving to come and pick them up. So if we can't reach you, who could we call? Would this be grandma, an aunt or uncle? Would this be the godparents, a neighbor, a best friend? But we really do need a name and phone number of someone that can help us reach you in an emergency. Then again, we cover the special circumstances, homelessness, foster child, early Head Start, IEP, infants and toddlers. And we ask if you receive child care subsidy vouchers. And then on the bottom of the page, you'll sign. If you have a printer and you would like to print and sign and scan back, that's great. But under the circumstances of COVID-19, if you simply type your name and type the date, we will accept that as a signature because we're doing everything electronically. So that's it for this form. So we need to save our work so that we can later on include it in an email.
So when we save, we can save the original document that you saved previously, and we can send. We can actually change the name because it's an updated one. We'll just put updated.
Okay.
Remember to keep the same file name, the same file type, which is a PDF. You need that there. We'll save that. Now, it won't pop up on your bottom right screen because it's the original document that you had previously saved. But if you go into your files on your computer, you should be able to see it under downloads, which is right there, the updated file. Double click, and here are all the changes we made to the form.
Okay, that's fantastic. So can we go back to the email and look at the 565, because that's another important one. And also, just before we go to the 565, if you could scroll down a tiny bit, there's a list of the documents that you need to provide that are like supporting documents. So you need proof of your child's age, proof of your address, proof of your income, and ID for parents. So the list is there. And again, you can scan things, or if it's easier, you can take pictures with your cell phone, and then you can email us the pictures of your driver's license and the birth certificate and things like that. Whatever works well for you. So, okay, so could we go to 565, please? And so 565, it's the same process. We're going to click on it. It will take us to the web page. We scroll down and we pick the language that we prefer. Oh, okay. I wanted to do the 560-24. I said the wrong one, but this is fine too. This is a very important form as well. This is your emergency information for your student. So again, you're putting in the name, the grade, birthday, address, languages spoken in the home. At this point, you wouldn't have the bus number. You also want to let the school know if there are custody concerns. Here again, we have the names of the parents. They ask who is taking care of the child before school, who is responsible after school. This form will be data entered so that at the school they have all of this information in the computer. So if there's an emergency and the school closes early, or there's something going on in the community, this is all the information that the school needs to have so that they can reach you. And if we can scroll down on the back, there's a lot of important health information. Okay, so here we go. So on the back, they ask health provider, if your child has a dentist, again, what type of insurance, and then these very important questions. Does your child have allergies to bee stings? Are they allergic to any food or medication? Many children now are allergic to tree nuts, peanuts. We have children who are allergic to shellfish. So it's important that you let us know if your child has any issues like that, any other allergies. Does your child have an EpiPen? And does your child need medication at school? If your child has a history of seizures, diabetes, things like that, we have Head Start nurses who also follow up with the family, and we make sure that we have a care plan at school. So none of these health conditions keep your child from attending school. We want everyone to be at school, but we want everyone to be safe. So we ask a lot of health questions so that we can be prepared and that the staff can work with parents and make sure that everything is in place to make sure that we avoid emergencies, but if there is an emergency, that we respond in the best way. They ask if there's currently prescribed medicines, and then again, parents need to sign by typing in and putting the date. I don't
Lisa,
know, Jonathan, if we...
Lisa, can we ask Jonathan to just one more time walk through how we save this document on our Chromebook?
Yes, please.
Definitely. Again, when we're at the top of the page and you move your cursor to the top right, you'll see the options here. The option to download the file will come up. You click that. And here down at the bottom, it comes with its original name of the file, which is the 561-1. You can leave it like that. If you do decide to change the name, we ask that you do not change the file type because that will corrupt the file. So if we did want to change it, we will put a name in there and then we will hit save. Once it saves and is downloaded, if you do not see it pop up to show in your folder down here, you can always go to your file application, click on file, and you want to make sure you go to your downloads. That's where it would be. And it's right here. The form that we saved, which is the 565-1, will come up, and there you see it. And it would if you filled it in prior to saving it, it would have all of the information that you had put in previously to saving it.
Thank you. That's excellent. Would you mind showing the 560-24 form just for a second? I just want to explain a couple of things on there.
This is the 560. Yep.
60-24. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And we'll do it in English. So some of the information here is repeated, but I just want to draw your attention to the second section, which says Maryland Home Language Survey. It's important to answer those questions and let us know which was the first language that your child learned to speak. So maybe with grandparents and family, they learned to speak Chinese. And then just in the last couple years, they have started learning English. Well, they're only 4, so let's say the last year. And now they're using more English, but their first language was Chinese. And then the third question is, what is spoken in the home? So what are the languages that the child is hearing all the time? Proof of age, the next section, you would mark whatever it is that you're planning to send to us. So if you don't have a birth certificate, but you're sending the passport or you're sending a baptismal certificate, you'd mark the appropriate one. Then you fill in your address and the residency. And you also, towards the bottom of that section, proof of residency, you're going to be sending us a property tax bill or your current lease. If you are in shared housing, which means that maybe you're sharing an apartment or house or you're renting a room, you would provide the property tax bill or lease from the owner and the shared housing disclosure form. And the shared housing form is available on the Montgomery County Schools website, just like we're putting in pre-K and getting the forms. If you go to the very first landing page of the website and you put 335-74, it will give you that form. You also will have the opportunity to mark what language you want for written communication for future reference. And then on the bottom of the page, there's questions about ethnicity. So you can choose Hispanic or Latino heritage and ethnicity, yes or no. And then there's a race designation, and you may choose as many as you like. So you can choose American Indian, African American, and white. You can choose all of them. Okay, that's not an and or. You can do all of them. Then prior school experience, most kids don't have that at this time. Parents and guardians information, sibling information again. And then at the very bottom, a lot of these questions don't apply to pre-K and Head Start children because they haven't been in school before, but they ask about IEP, past ESOL, if they've ever been suspended, those kind of things. So most of those are no answers for our students, but it's still good to go through them. And then, of course, the parent would sign in date. And again, you're signing by typing your name. So that's an introduction to the forms. Good luck, parents. It's a lot. If you have questions while you're working on the forms, you can always email our office. The email address or-pre-k with no hyphen. The only dash is or-dash. At mcpsmd.org, and the web, there you go, it's on your email. You can email questions and say, I'm trying to do the forms, but I'm stuck on this, or this is difficult for me, or my computer's not working the way I thought it would. You can leave messages there. You can also call 240-740-5999 and leave a message. You can also call the Head Start office, 240-740-4530. Again, if you leave a message, please leave your name. Speak very slowly and clearly. Leave your name and your phone number. And also it helps if you give us your child's name, because we may have already been working with you. It helps us figure out kind of where we are. So good luck. And Jonathan and Charlene, did we forget anything important?
If you want to put those numbers up again here, I don't know if we have those numbers to show. The telephone numbers. Maybe you want to put them in this letter just to show them.
I thought they were in the letter. I thought that the 240-740-5999 was in the letter.
Here's this one. Yep.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. The 240-740. And it's a message system. As I keep mentioning, most people are working from home. And so you would leave a message. And that's an important point. It reminds me, a lot of times when we will call parents, we're using Google Calls or we're using different systems. So when your application is in process, you might get a restricted phone call, or it might have a strange phone number that you don't recognize. So if you can try to keep that in mind, you might want to answer those calls, because it could be our staff trying to call you back. Another thing that we're doing is making an appointment. So in an email, we're saying at 3 o'clock, I will call you. So then if at 3 o'clock you get a phone call and it says restricted, you know it's probably the Head Start person calling you back. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jonathan and Charlene, for all your help. And good luck, parents. We are really excited, hopefully, to see you in person in the fall. And if not, we will keep Zooming and we will see you virtually. But good luck to you, and we can't wait to meet your child. Take care.